Hey friends, it's Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. Thank you guys for joining me. It's time for another video in my masterclass on easel cards. So today I've got a really amazing card. This is called a Diagonal Easel card. And what makes this one so unique? Well, it's going to be another great card for your friends to display. We love that, right? It's a very easy card to create, just a couple little folds, and you're going to have an amazing card. Are you ready to learn how? Good, let's get started then. The holidays are such a perfect time for creating easel cards because we're sending cards that we know that people are going to want to display. So today we're going to be creating a diagonal easel card. So let me show you how this one works. You can see here on the inside, plenty of room to write your message, but here's what makes this card so unique. Look at that. It's like it's creating its own little piece of art. So that's how it's going to look when it is standing up. It's a super easy card. I'm excited to share it with you. So let's talk about the cardstock you need to create your diagonal easel card. So for my Christmas card, I'm going to use shaded spruce. Guys, it's a half a sheet, 4 1/4 by 11 inches. We're also going to bring in some designer series paper. So this one is the Sweetest Christmas designer series paper. So we've got some great colorful stripes on one side, some red and white polka dots here on the front. Guys, it is a 4 by 6, and that means you can create 6 of these cards from just one 12 by 12 piece of your designer series paper. We've got some basic white cardstock. Now for this, I'm going to use 3 pieces. These are 4 by 4. And then I've got a couple little tiny pieces here. We have a 1 by 1 1/2 and a 1 1/4 by 1 3/4. These are just going to layer on top of each other. Not to worry if you have missed any of the measurements, because I've got a free download for you today. You're going to be able to find that at SimplySimpleStamping.com, or just look down in the YouTube description for my direct link. But in this download, you're going to have my full supply list, all my measurements. This little QR code will get you back to the video if you need to rewatch it. And of course, if you need to order any of the supplies I used, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Click there. It'll take you directly to my online store. All right, let's get started. We're going to do a little bit of cutting and a little bit of scoring. So I'm going to use my paper trimmer. And the first cut I want to make is going to be a 1 1/4 inch by 4 1/4. So we're going to cut this piece down, save that. We're going to use that. Now we're going to do some scoring on this piece. So let's make sure that cutting blade is out of the way. And we want to score this at 5 1/2 inches. Right, let's take our 5 1/2 inch side. I'm gonna want that over to the right side, because here is my diagonal. Now this part is important. We want to go from the upper left corner down to this score line. So we're gonna score right across, and I love to do that in my paper trimmer. Can you see how I can line up the point from this score line and the point right there? I can line those up, and that's going to make sure that I get that perfect score, and it's just a simple diagonal. There is the base of our card. Now, since we've got this out, we are actually going to use another one piece of those 4 by 4 basic white. And my friends, we're going to cut this at a diagonal. So just like you saw me do, I'm going to line up the points there in my paper trimmer, but this time I'm going to cut. Now make sure you're holding on tight to that cardstock. We don't want it to move. We want to have 2 equal triangles, and that's going to be for the inside of our card. All right, now for our designer series paper, we're going to do a little cutting on this one. Let's cut it down to 4 by 4. And just like you saw me do, we're also going to cut this one at a diagonal. Again, making sure we're holding on tight. So there are the 2 triangles. That's for the front. And with what's remaining, we're going to cut that down to 1 inch by 4 inches. Okay. And now it's time to do some stamping. We're going to use the Sweet Candy Canes bundle today. So I've got my stamp sets here, and I am going to be using the matching dies. Now you could fussy cut these if you wanted to, but you know, dies do make it so easy. And when you purchase these together, you save some money. So we're going to be using the dies today. We're going to use a lot of sentiments from this set as well. So let's go ahead. We're going to start with our 2 candy canes, a real red ink pad, and a shaded spruce ink pad. I'm going to ink up one of my candy canes in shaded spruce. And we're going to stamp that there in one of our 4x4 squares of white. Now I'm going to do that same thing here with my real red. Do that here all the way over on the left side. To do your die cutting, we have base plate 1, thin die adapter 2, and a cutting plate 3. And then here we've got just a little leafy image. My friends, we need 2 of those. We can line up all of our dies. We're going to lay another cutting plate 3 right on top. Let's run that through. And there we go. We have everything die cut and ready for us. We're going to go ahead and close up our ink pads for just a little bit. We've got more stamping to do, but I want to show you how this card's going to go together, and then we can finish up with our stamping at the end. We're just about ready to put our diagonal card together, but I wanted to remind you about the free download that I have for you. You can look down in the YouTube description for a direct link, or just head over to simplysimplestamping.com. I've got that download for you there, and that way you're going to have the measurements, photos, the supply list, even a QR code. You can come back and watch this video again if you need a quick reminder, and a place that you can order any of the supplies that you need. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So be sure to go grab your free download. But now it's time to put this card together, so let's go. So I'm going to come in with a bone folder, and I'm going to give those score lines just a really good crease. We're going to start here with our designer series paper. Remember, we have 2 sides, but for the front of my card, I'm going to go ahead and use the red side. My friends, we are simply going to adhere those. They're going to fit perfectly right there in that space. So let's get these adhered down. All right, now for the inside. So we have those 2 pieces of basic white. We are going to adhere those just like we did there on the front. And that remaining 4x4 square, that's going to go right here in the other side. Easy, easy, right? I know sometimes cards like this can be a little intimidating, but really it's not. Okay, we're going to bring in the last of that designer series paper and that strip that we cut off the end of our card. We're going to take the piece that was 1 1/4, and guys, it's going to adhere right here. Now you can use whichever side, but I thought I'm ready to bring in some of that stripe. So let's put adhesive right here, and we're going to add that here on the end of our card. Now we're going to do something a little different with this one. Let's add our adhesive to the back. This is where I'm going to do something a little different. We're going to actually line this up right here with the edge, okay, right there on the edge. So we're not going to center it up. We want it to line up. All right, what I want to do now is bring in my Stampin' Dimensionals. And guys, if you want to use your Stampin' Dimensional bones, that would be these little extra pieces that come here on the side. You can do that as well. It's great for a piece like this. Either one is going to work great. If you want to just use your Stampin' Dimensionals, we want to make sure we get them real close to the end and plenty on either side. So yeah, I'm going to actually use 8 on this. I'm going to remove these backings. Now you see this is the edge that we went really close to. I'm going to line that up. And what I'm doing, I'm kind of giving it a little bit of an optical illusion. Can you see? That looks like a stripe kind of right in between there, but we're good and we're centered everywhere else. So that's what we want, and that's what's going to create our diagonal easel. All right, now that we have that, you know what, let's go ahead and do our stamping right here. Now, this is the reason why I wanted my card put together before I finished my stamping. I'm gonna bring in my real red ink pad one more time. And this time we're gonna say Candy Cane Wishes and Mistletoe Kisses. Let's stamp that right down here in the corner. And then coming back in with Shaded Spruce and the little mistletoe, we will stamp that right there. So now there is the beginning of our easel. Now we're going to stamp another message right here on one of the diagonals. So we're going to say, wishing you lots of love, joy, and happiness this Christmas season and always. And let's add one more mistletoe right there. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to show you how we're going to create the front of our easel. You know what? Before I get too far ahead of myself, we're going to do our last bit of stamping, and that is the word Christmas cheer. And we're going to put that right inside this little square. This was the 1 by 1.5. And with that, we are officially done with stamping. All right, let's take these two pieces. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Stampin' Dimensionals. Let's pop that off of that basic white. And I think 2 dimensionals should do it. I love the look of white on white and using that as a layer. I just think it looks so pretty. Okay, let me bring in my card. I'm going to go ahead and now adhere this to the upper left corner of my diagonal. And now for the candy canes. So what I found worked best is to make the green candy cane, or I should say the candy cane that you're going to be putting on the left side, make it go straight up and down. So really, I just need adhesive right here. Remember, it's hanging off, okay? So we don't want adhesive all over it. So I'm going to add my candy cane right here. I'm going to just check, yep, no adhesive right there. That's good. This is the one we're going to add with Stampin' Dimensionals. And just like I did here, I don't want dimensionals there on that edge because that's going to be hanging off. So just dimensionals down there. I'm going to peel off these backings, and you're going to love this. When we go to adhere it onto our card, it's going to kind of sit, at an angle. But do you see it actually lines up perfectly straight with that diagonal? So it kind of gives you a really great visual to put that on. And there we go. Look at that. We just add that to our card and our diagonal. Now, these little die cut pieces, we're going to add these to our sentiment to dress them up. I'm going to just put a couple dimensionals on each one. I'm going to add that here down at the bottom, and that just gives that sentiment just a nice little pop, but it needs some bling right here, don't you think? I love to use festive pearls. These are great because you get 4 different colors, but I thought the gold would look really, really nice with my card today. So I'm going to add 3 of these little gold, and I'm going to kind of create my own little mistletoe berries, I guess. But it really just added just a nice festive feel. So 3 of those there on my card using my Take Your Pick tool for ease. And there we go. Look at that. There is our easel card. Perfect for the holidays. Plenty of room to write a message. We are all set and ready to go. I love how easy this card is to create. Here I made a really sweet little baby card. And that's what I loved about this diagonal easel, is that it's perfect for any occasion. So I thought this one was really sweet, a great card to display after baby is here. We've got our little sweet bear on the front, and I did that with a Happier Than Happy stamp set. And actually I used the bundle. You can see how I die cut the bear and that little butterfly that's flying away as well. Looks so sweet. So little information about this card here. You can see where we did the stamping on the inside. My designer series paper, do you notice how it lined up? It all lined up perfectly. That was like a little bonus for me there. Hello Baby down there at the bottom. And now I want to show how to create that little flying away butterfly. So when you get photopolymer stamps from Stampin' Up, you get this free piece of window sheet. Well, save that. We're going to use that on all kinds of projects. But that's what I used to create my butterfly. I cut that at 1/4 inch by 2 inches. And I think you can see I die cut one of the little butterflies, and I just attached it to the end with a mini glue dot and tucked it underneath the bear. So now when I do my easel, look at that. My little butterfly is just flying away. It looks so sweet. I added a little Hello Baby tag, a little Sahara Sand twill. Such a great card. And when it comes to those baby cards, those parents are going to keep those forever. So we like them to be extra special. Now, let me go ahead and bring in my first card, my Christmas card. I think you guys can see you are going to have so many different occasions you're going to be able to use the Diagonal Easel card. Have some fun creating. Guys, it really is truly a fun card. Thank you so much for being here today. If you like the video, would you give me a thumbs up on YouTube? I always appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed, click that great big red subscribe button. It's waiting for you. Click it. YouTube can let you know whenever I am back with a new video, and we'd love to have you here on the channel. So make it a great day. Go create something amazing. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.